Welcome back. In the previous class, we have talked about the optimal control problem in the realistic situation. And in realistic situation means we are assuming that our admissible control that is bounded, and we have also given several examples where we found that states also has some kind of constraint. Now, what is our main goal? To solve those kind of optimal control problem where non-autonomous system contain both kind of constraint. If you remember the previous lecture, at that time I have just considered the case where just control is constrained or bounded. Here in today's lecture, basically we are going to relook again the same problem, and actually methodology almost remains the same, and now we are going to assume one more thing, that a state also has some kind of inequality constraint. Then using again Pontryagin minimum principle, how to solve or how to calculate optimal control such that that particular control is able to minimize the given performance measure or performance function. So let us start the lecture whatever we have learned in the previous class. So in previous class what we have seen, that I have some system and system is governed by this non-autonomous differential equation. Here I am assuming that xt belongs to Rn, ut belongs to Rm, so this is n, and here you can see that right hand side is explicitly depending on time. Due to that reason I am telling this is one of the non-autonomous system. Now our aim is to design control, and control I have to design which has some kind of admissible limit, and that control causes this system, this autonomous system, to follow a admissible trajectory. Again I have some kind of constraint on the trajectory, and at the same time I have to make sure that that is going to minimize the following performance measure. And again we have defined performance measure exactly in the same way like the previous classes. So this is the terminal cost, and after that I have overall, whenever system is evolving, at that time I have this much of cost, and I am assuming that this ju is some kind of functional, and finally this will gives us mapping from Rn, because Rn and this is Rm. So I am assuming that after mapping from this G map from Rn Cartesian product Rm R to R, and integral of that is also R, and similar kind of things here. So if you remember the solution of this class of problem, then again we are formulating the Hamiltonian exactly in the same way. Whenever either we have constraint or we don't have any constraint, so same kind of methodology we are going to follow. And once we identify the Hamiltonian, and we know how to identify the Hamiltonian, that is pretty easy. You have to just see whatever inside the integrand of this particular performance measure, and after that you have to define some kind of co-state variable, and dimension of this co-state variable is exactly same like the state. So we are assuming that pt belongs to Rn here in this particular example also, and after that this is the right hand side of the dynamics, because we have assumed that that is non-autonomous. So same kind of things I have multiplied here. And after that, necessary condition I am going to specify. In previous class we have already derived this result, and what we found that in constraint case, when control is constrained by some limit or unbounded, suppose control is unbounded, at that time only we have one modification at this particular point, and this is necessary condition we found, but not sufficient condition. And this equation, all other equation remains same. This is nothing but a state equation, and this is co-state equation. And again I have to solve the boundary condition, generalized, this is called generalized boundary condition. So boundary condition remains the same, just we have modification here. And meaning of this modification, that for all admissible control, what we are assuming, that whatever Hamiltonian function that is minimal, if that is optimal control, and optimal control is bounded. If there is no such kind of boundedness condition on the optimal control, then this condition is simply reduced back to dou h by dou u equal to 0. We have already seen that in unconstrained case, by just solving this I can able to calculate the control. So again I have to solve three set of equations. One set of equation I am going to solve, that is a state equation, co-state equation, this is control equation, and after that this is boundary condition. But if we have constraint at that time, this condition is replaced by this condition. So in this particular derivation, everywhere we are just assuming that we have constraint, or we have some kind of assumption that control is bounded, but we haven't considered, or we haven't taken care that if our state is also constrained, then how to solve again optimal control problem. So due to that reason, in today's lecture I am going to incorporate those part. So it means that I am assuming from initial point onward, I am assuming that control is bounded. So control is bounded, then I have to solve state equation, co-state equation, boundary condition, and after that I have to make sure that whatever Hamiltonian function that is minimal, whenever we are giving guarantee that u star is our optimal control. So, and that is nothing but Pontryagin, idea of Pontryagin minimum principle. Now objective of today's lecture to consider problem in which there may be inequality constraint. So inequality constraint involve the state variable as well as the control. So I have already told you that the control part we have already taken care. So just I have to now incorporate the state variable part, and we have to show again the necessary condition, that under what condition again I can give guarantee that some design optimal control is going to minimize some kind of performance measure. So let us try to see the assumption. Assumption is that I have some kind of state constraint that is defined like this, and I have n number of state. I am assuming that some of a state has no constraint, but some of a state has constraint. So here assumption is like this: I have whatever constraint, because if you see the state, then that belongs to Rn. Due to that reason I am mapping from Rn, and this is R, and that map to RL, and I am assuming that number of constraint on a state that is lesser than the control. So that kind of assumption we have in order to derive the necessary condition for the existence of optimal control. One more assumption we are going to state here, that this particular state constraint f that is continuously two-time differentiable with respect to their argument, means with respect to partial derivative exist with respect to xt as well as with respect to t, and two-time partial derivative will exist. So that kind of assumption I have. Now what I am going to do in order to solve or in order to incorporate the state constraint, I am going to transform L inequality constraint of this form. We are already assumed that that whatever constraint, L number of constraint that is of this particular form, into some kind of equality constraint, because somehow I have to incorporate that kind of constraint inside the definition of Hamiltonian function. And after incorporating that constraint, basically my co-state function is going to change. State equation is not going to change. Boundary, generalized boundary condition remains the same. Now we have seen that whenever we are incorporating the constraint or boundedness condition on control, then I am going to find those kind of Hamiltonian function that become minimum, and that is the idea of Pontryagin minimum principle. So whenever you are allowing some kind of constraint with respect to a state, then now we have modification in the co-state equation, or all other part remains the same. So now whenever we are defining the Hamiltonian, at that time what we have found, that Hamiltonian always we are writing in form of equality. Due to that reason, first aim is to transform L inequality constraint fxt into t into single equality constraint, and after that we are going to augment the performance measure with that equality constraint. So let us see how to do that. So idea is that we have to define some new state variable. So whatever constraint we have, we are going to define a new variable. We have already seen that when we have started the optimal control problem, and at that time whenever system is governed by some kind of differential equation, so one constraint that is involved due to differential equation, and at that time we have seen that in order to talk about the optimality, we have to define co-state variable or Lagrangian variable pt in order to come up with that n number of constraint. But now we have extra constraint. Due to that reason, we have to define some extra new variable. So that is the motivation. And now we are going to define this extra variable, and I am assuming that this extra variable also has some kind of dynamics that is changing with respect to time. And here I am going to incorporate all L constraint, and here I am going to incorporate one function, and that particular function, this is the notion of function, so do not think that this is one. So notion of this function, generally people are representing like this, and that is minus f1. So this is notion, this is just some kind of function, and this function is called Heaviside function, Heaviside step function. And meaning of this function, that whenever fi is greater than 0, at that time this is 0, and whenever this is less than 0, at that time this is 1. So you can see that right hand side of this Sn plus 1, that is always positive. Why that is always positive? Because they can, this particular function that is called Heaviside function, that either take 0 value or 1 value, and all other terms are in the form of a square only. Now let us try to see that some more remark about Sn, extra state variable, whatever we have incorporated. So this equal to 0 only for the time when all constraint is going to satisfy, because we are assumed that whatever constraint that is coming that is of this form, fxt greater than equal to 0, and at that time if you see the fxt greater than 0 means each and every component, we are just talking about component wise, because if I have some kind of matrix, suppose that if you have 1 2 matrix greater than 0, so that is meaningless due to that reason. But I can tell that okay, component wise I can talk about the inequality. So here I am going to talk inequality in component wise. So, and what we found that during the definition of Heaviside function, if that component is greater than 0, then I have 0. If that is less than 0, that is 1. It means that if constraint will satisfy, at that time xn dot xn plus 1 dot whatever new variable that equal to 0, because Heaviside function for f x t comma t, so each component that equal to 0. But if constraint is not satisfied, at that time we have dynamics, and dynamics is evolving in such a way such that constraint again satisfy. That is the basic idea. Now you can see that I can also represent this extra variable or whatever augmented variable, that using this particular way, if I know the initial condition, and initial condition I can assume that I have known, because I am assuming that I know x0, u0, x0 and t. So when I am going to start my experiment and whatever the state at that time. So due to that reason I am assuming that all f1 f2 f3 everything is known, and due to that reason one can write equation like this. Now one more important thing, you can see that since we are assuming that constraint is going to satisfy, initially also constraint is satisfied, finally constraint is also satisfied, otherwise I cannot tell that that particular problem, optimal problem, has this kind of constraint. Due to that reason these two inequality comes into picture. So I have to make sure that constraint is going to satisfy at the initial time and final time. In between I do not know. But here one more important point, you can see that whatever extra variable we have defined in such a way that that must be 0 throughout. Why? Because that is positive and we are assuming that end point that is equal to 0. So if some quantity x n dot, that particular quantity is positive throughout the interval, because from the construction we have seen, but that equal to 0 at the boundary point, due to that reason this constraint is satisfied if I have x n dot. So what we have written, since x and t greater than 0 for all t, satisfaction of this boundary condition implies that x n dot must be 0 throughout. So this should be 0 throughout this interval, because end point that is 0 and we are telling that that is always positive. It means that if that is not 0, then positive quantity comes into picture due to this integral, due to this particular integral, and due to that reason we are claiming that this particular quantity x n dot n plus 1 dot must be 0 throughout the interval. Now let us try to see our problem. So we have to again minimize the same functional, and I have again same system, and we have expressed the state inequality constraint like this. Now what I am going to do, that I am going to formulate the Hamiltonian. So here you can see that this is the term inside integral and this is the term from dynamics. So I have non-autonomous system and I am assuming that that has n number of component. So due to that reason x dot equal to a, and that is function of x t u t and t. So a has n number of component, that is a1, a2, I am not going to write the argument, and an like this. So due to that reason, I have multiplication of a1 x1 tut a and xn tut. So up to here story is very simple. After that, since I have single equality constraint, that I am going to incorporate here, and we know that xn dot xn plus 1 dot equal to 0 throughout the interval, and due to that reason just single a single this kind of construction new variable I can incorporate, and this is nothing but some kind of extra dynamics we have. So I can reformulate the performance measure again in similar way. So this function remains the same here. Now I have extra state because one more state xn n plus 1, that auxiliary state we have actually augmented inside the system, and due to that reason pt co-state variable is increased by one more. So I have change of co-state variable. So I have actually whenever we have constraint, then due to constraint order of my system is going to increase, and after that number of co-state variable also going to increase. That is the result. And xn we have seen that one can define like this, and now extra state, that is a n plus 1, that is defined like this. So whatever extra things we have incorporated here, I'm telling that okay, this extra quantity is nothing but due to the extra state xn plus 1 dot, and we know that if I have n plus 1 dynamics, then right hand side, and you can see that luckily this is nothing but xn dot plus 1. So due to that reason construction is not going to become altered. Now again, since construction is remains same, exactly same, just now I have n plus 1 states and n plus 1 co-state variable, so optimality condition is not going to change, that remains the same, but we have certain kind of constraint with respect to control. Due to that reason I cannot able to apply those kind of necessary condition which is applicable for the unbounded control, and due to that reason I have one more state here and everything remains the same. So this is nothing but state equation, and after that I have co-state equation. Again co-state equation we have extra term, and with respect to xn plus 1, and this is co-state equation. And since I am assuming that I have constraint with respect to control also, and due to that reason, since that is not bounded, due to that reason I need the Pontryagin minimum principle, and due to that reason I have to make sure that for all admissible value of u, whatever Hamiltonian function, that Hamiltonian function that is minimal. So this can, in that way I am able to solve the problem whenever I have constraint with respect to state. So now come up to the summary, that I have some system, and suppose if I have constraint with respect to control as well as state. So what you have to do, you have to first convert your constraint in that particular form f x t comma t that is greater than 0. So whatever constraint, so first you have to do that kind of construction. After that I am going to define the extra variable, that is a n plus 1, and using that extra variable I am going to redefine the Hamiltonian function, and all remaining result remains the same. One more thing I forget to write here, that apart from this I have boundary condition. Okay, so don't worry, same kind of boundary condition is applicable, there is no change of the boundary condition. Now let us try to see the again whatever problem we have discussed in the previous class. In previous class I am just assuming that I have some kind of constraint on control. In today's lecture I am going to incorporate constraint with respect to state also. So performance measure, that is exactly same like the previous class, and now you try to see here that xt0 is specified, means this is given, and final state this I am assuming that is free, and but final time is given, and now I have admissible control that is bounded by same limit -1 to 1, and now x1 is free, means x1 can take any value, but I have constraint with respect to x2. So if you just think like this, suppose I have one car, and car, if you see the dynamics of car, then that is governed by Newton's law. So mx double dot, and x1 and x2 is the state. So x1 is position, x2 as a velocity. So I am telling that I have some limitation with respect to velocity. So I can increase my velocity or decrease my velocity, and but I have no limitation about the position. So velocity will control, so position is automatically controlled. Now you can see that first here this constraint, state constraint, that is in not in the proper form, because whatever way we have solved the problem at that time we need this kind of constraint, and due to that reason first step we have to convert our given constraint in this particular form. And if you will do that, means that process is pretty easy. You try to see that x to t lie between -2 to 2. Due to that reason, what I am writing, I am going to add 2 both side here in this particular place. So you can see that automatically this kind of constraint comes into picture. In this side, now what I am going to do, I am going to add -x to both side in this particular side, and in that way I have this kind of constraint. So this this one constraint now actually develop two constraint, and now what I have to do here, I have to in this way I am able to get same kind of constraint that is greater than equal to 0. Now once we get the constraint, so using help of the Heaviside function, now I am going to define the Hamiltonian function. And Hamiltonian function, so this part is coming from this particular place. Try to see the performance measure, and performance measure whatever term inside the integrand, and this term we are defining, that is x u, and here there is no t, so you can assume this is x t and ut. So same kind of things I have to incorporate here, and after that I have to incorporate the dynamics with multiplication of the co-state variable. So here, since this is second order equation, due to that reason I have two co-state variable, and equation, try to see the equation, that is x1 dot equal to x2, and x2 dot equal to minus x2 into ut. Due to that reason I am going to multiply p1 with x2, and after that p2 with x2 into ut. So same kind of process whatever we have done in the previous class. And after that, now what I have to do, I have to define some extra co-state variable, that is p3, and whatever coefficient that is going to multiply with p3, that is nothing but whatever constraint you have, you can take a square of that. In that way that become positive, and you can multiply with Heaviside function. And we know that if this is positive, then this equal to 0. If that is negative, then this is equal to 1. And similarly, and due to that reason, Hamiltonian function, the Hamiltonian function means when constraint is satisfied, at that time basically I have just these two equations. Now I am going to apply the necessary condition. So again, this is the state equation, so everywhere just everything is replaced by optimal. And after that, now I have third equation, extra equation, because I have defined the extra variable. So due to that reason, third equation should be satisfied also for all time between t0 to tf. And after that I have co-state equation with respect to x1, with respect to x2, and that is very simple exercise. You can see that you can just calculate the partial derivative of Hamiltonian function with respect to x1. So this term will appear, and similarly with respect to x2 this term is appear. Now try to see the rate of change, means third co-state variable. Since h inside h there is no x3, if you see carefully. So inside h nowhere x3 is involved, and due to that reason partial derivative with respect to x3 is equal to 0. It means that whenever we are defining Hamiltonian, so Hamiltonian remains in the same coordinate frame, that is x1 and x2, whatever state we have originally. And due to that reason only in co-state equation, if I will take partial derivative with respect to that particular augmented variable, then that equal to 0. It means that everywhere p3 star should be constant. And control, we have already seen that whenever we have constraint with respect to control in previous class, we have seen that I have taken same example. So basically control will come like this. And how basically we have checked that, we have seen the Hamiltonian. Inside Hamiltonian we have just considered those kind of term which containing the control, and after that we have shown that for all admissible control this particular relation, whatever relation I have stated, that should be satisfied. In that way this control comes into picture. So control part is not going to actually alter. But here now you can see that p2 star, now p2 star is coming from the solution of all these equations, means 3 equation plus 3 6 equation, and after that boundary condition. Due to that reason control form looks like exactly same like previous class, but optimal control, means trajectory of optimal control, is different because p2 star is different. So if you are assuming there is no constraint on the state, just constraint on the control, and if you incorporate a state constraint, then things control remains the same, but their form remains the same, but whatever value, this is co-state variable, that is going to change. Due to that reason original control is also going to change, means optimal control is also going to change. And boundary condition, because we know that for all tx tf that should be 0. Due to that reason I have this, and after that I know that from the boundary condition, if you solve boundary condition, then these two condition basically comes into picture. So in this way one can solve the optimal control problem whenever we have a state as well as the control constraint. And almost all problem, all realistic problem, either you can take talk about the space mission, either you can talk about some kind of mobile robot controlled by DC motor or any other places. So whenever we will solve exercise, then we will see that in various places we have this kind of restriction. So with this remark I am going to close the today's lecture. Thank you very much.